What's up YouTube? Hagar coming at you with another video, and today I'm going to show you how to do delicious, tender, sweet, spicy ribs on just your regular everyday grill that you might have sitting out in your backyard not getting used. You don't need big smokers, big high dollar expensive machines to make delicious ribs in your backyard, and that's what we're going to do today. Y'all stick around, we'll see what we can do. Alright, so the first thing you're going to need is a nice set of pork ribs. I've chose spare ribs. You can use baby backs. Personally, I just like that spare ribs have more meat on the bone, and I can get them just as tender on the smoker that way. So what I've done is went ahead and had the butcher at the local grocery store go ahead and cut these St. Louis style. I tried to get the straightest bones that I could, but as you can see, all of them were coming in at a little bit of an angle, and that's why it's not completely squared up. I've cut off a little bit of excess just to give them that nice squared look. I don't do competitions or anything like that, so this isn't perfection. It's just, it looks nice. It's easier to cook this way. I've saved all the spare parts, and they're going to get cooked and eat just the same as these, but just for the video, we did it this way. So on your ribs, the first thing you're going to want to do, every rib has this membrane on the back, and it's impermeable. You can't get seasoning through it. So what you're going to want to do is remove that. Now, honestly, I'll be just frank with you. I've never in my life of doing ribs removed this membrane. So this is going to be the first time that I've ever tried to do this. So the thing that I've seen that people use and it works the best is you can either use a butter knife or you can use a spoon. And then you want to get a piece of paper towel that you can get a good grip on this membrane. But you're going to want to find a bone. And you can see it comes up there a little bit, and then you're going to want to get your paper towel and you're going to want to try to get a hold of it just as good as you can. And you're just going to want to pull that membrane. And if you can't see that, I'm sorry. And then after you get a good grip on it, you can just take your towel, hold on to it, and just pull. And that's just a nasty, it doesn't have flavor, it holds out flavor, it's chewy. And I'd never done it before, and I'm hoping that this makes this set of ribs better than any I've ever cooked. And that just gets all that off of there. It comes out underneath here too. And so we'll just pull all that off that we can. I'm going to finish these up, get this other slab done too, and then we'll come back and put on our rub. And we'll show you everything about that. So now that our membrane's removed, what we're going to do is we're going to coat these with a little bit of yellow mustard. What that's going to do is it's going to allow your rub to go ahead and just penetrate that meat. It's going to give it a little bit of stickiness to stick to the meat, and it's just going to make sure that everything you put on there stays on there. And in the end, that's what we want. So I've just got cheapo yellow mustard. Now the mustard won't give any flavor to the ribs. But it will, like I said, let that rub just stick on there and make sure that it gets in there and worked in real good. So you're just going to make sure everything gets coated, and then we're going to go through here like this with the rub. Now I'll give y'all my rub recipe. It's no big secret. I found it online. You can use store-bought rub. You can make your own. The sky's the limit with it, guys. No matter what you like, if you like spicy, you can make spicy rubs. If you like sweet, you can make sweet rubs. I go with a little bit more of a sweet rub. That's what I like. I like my meat, chicken, pork. I like all that to be sweet. As y'all saw in that last video. If you haven't, be sure to go check it out. It's the best chicken legs, drumsticks you'll ever see on YouTube, I tell you what. Now some people will also tell you not to rub in the rub, which doesn't really make sense to me. So I go ahead and make sure that it gets rubbed in there. You're going to get it up in that flat. And if you don't, put it in there. Now I'm just using an old chili powder shaker. I put the rub in there. Make sure that gets good and done. And we'll flip that over. Put some yellow mustard on here. Made a Christmas tree if you didn't notice that. Get that good and covered there. Get your edges. You want to make sure you get your edges. And then we're just going to put the rub on there too. Now this rub recipe, we'll put it on the screen, we'll type it out, put it on there so you can pause it and look at it. But it mostly consists of 2 cups of brown sugar, 4 tablespoons of chili powder, 4 tablespoons of dry mustard, 4 tablespoons of garlic powder, 4 tablespoons of onion powder, 4 tablespoons of cayenne pepper, 4 tablespoons of kosher salt, and about 4 tablespoons of coarse ground black pepper. That's just all mixed together and put in there. And I think it's going to be good. Always taste your rub, guys. It's not going to hurt you to taste a little bit of dry spices. I wouldn't suggest getting a spoonful of them or anything, but put them on your finger, taste it. Make sure it's something you're actually going to like. We're going to get the edges. Make sure everything gets good and coated. And then we're going to go out there and I'm going to show you how I'm going to set up the grill to do this smoke, and that way we can still get a long, low heat burn to make sure these things get smoked. We'll go out to the grill and get started. So now that our ribs are marinating in the refrigerator, we wrapped them with some saran wrap, put them back in the fridge so they can stay cool. We've got our grill set up. What we're doing today is we've taken about 60 to 75 briquettes and we've lined around the edge of the grill. Now the reason we've done this is we're only going to light one side. Normally you would take your charcoal starter and you would just dump it in the middle and you'd have all your coals starting around about the same time. But what we're going to do is we're going to light just one side of this so that it gets a continuous burn and the heat somewhat regulates. Should be with this amount of bricks and this configuration, should be around that 245 to 200 and even up to 260 degrees, and it's going to keep that temperature going throughout the whole 4 hours that we're going to try to get these ribs smoked on here. I've also added some cherry chunks on here. We're not using chips today, so we're going to actually lay these on here. I've moved them away from where we're starting the bricks today so that once it gets up and gets going on temp, that those will start smoldering, start smoking right around the time that we're going to put the ribs on there, and then they'll get a continuous smoke for at least the first hour. That's usually all I ever smoke any kind of meat that I'm doing is that first hour. We're also, once we put the grate on here, we're also going to put some people will call it a drip pan. We're going to just fill it with a little bit of warm water and actually put it on top of the grate. What that's going to do is as it steams and evaporates, it's going to keep moisture in the air inside the grill, and it's going to keep your ribs nice and tender, nice and moist. And then once we get everything going, we'll put the ribs on here, and we'll be back to show you what we got going on.
Do a ditty.
What's a ditty?
A dance.
Diddy dum diddy do. Diddy dum diddy do. Alright, so now the grill is up to temp finally. It took a little bit longer than I expected. We've got our water pan here that's going to regulate, keep that moisture in the air. And then we're just going to, I've also got this grate here. I've got this from Cabela's. It's real cheap, $10. It's going to hold your ribs up. Hopefully it'll help them smoke evenly instead of laying it directly on the grate. We've got the extra pieces too. We're just going to throw them on here around the edges just so they get cooked. We're not worried about them being made to perfection like we are these. We're just going to make sure these get put in there. They're thicker on one end, so and we're going to spread them out a little bit. So now we're going to let this go for a few hours and let that smoke get in the meat, get everything going. Hopefully the temperature will stay, should be around 225 to 250, somewhere in there. Every once in a while we're going to rotate this grate so that everything gets done even on the outside. And then if the water goes and lowers down, we're going to refill that. Have everything going, hopefully, like I said, about a 4-hour cook time altogether. And then we'll get eating. That's the best part. Eating them. Yeah. I don't know. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Is it recording?
Mm-hmm.
So I should go
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Alright guys, so now the ribs have been on here for a little over 2 hours. We've still got some good smoke coming in here, but they're ready to wrap. Temp's running a little bit hotter than I wanted, so it's happening a little bit faster. So we're going to go ahead and pull these up and give them a good wrap. We've got a little bit of a drawback on the bones, and you can see they're good and brittle. All we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of honey. I'm going to give that a good little drizzle everywhere. I just dropped my honey. Oh geez, that could have been catastrophe. Got a little honey everywhere. And then after the honey, we're going to take some sriracha just to keep that nice and sweet and spicy going. And then I'm going to put some more of the rub on there, wrap it up, take the rack off, and put it back on the grill for at least another hour. That'll keep it all tender, make sure nothing gets good and burnt, and we'll be back whenever I'm eating. Alright folks, so we're back in the house. Ribs are off the grill, they've set for a little bit, and we're going to cut into them and see what happens. Putting the honey on there, wrapped them, and I made the dumb mistake of putting meat over top of the coals, and where it's on a grill, I got a little too hot on one side. So all in all, I came out with one good slab of ribs. I cut off the end that was pretty burnt, and so we're going to cut into these, see how they're doing. Y'all can notice I didn't glaze them. I didn't put any barbecue sauce on them the last 5 minutes or anything like that. That's just me personally. If you like to put that, if you like sauce or anything like that, I would just have these to dip in sauce if I wanted it. Otherwise, I'm just going to eat them like this. So let's cut into it and see what happens. You see that we have a lot of drawback on the bone. We've got a really nice smoke ring in there. And let's just cut into one and see what it looks like here. You see we've got a nice smoke ring around the edges there. Tons of meat on these spare ribs. That's why I like them so much. Got that huge smoke ring there. Let's taste it and see what it's like. So this one's on the side that was done really well. Really juicy, really sweet. Got a great smoke flavor. I'm telling you guys, grilling's not easy, but it ain't hard. If you don't have a big smoker at the house, you don't need one. You can smoke good meat. I just made a mistake. Don't let that deter you. Don't be afraid of it. Get out there, put some meat on a grill, and see what you can do. Come back next week. We'll see what we got going on the grill then, and we'll see what happens. The dog's pawing at the camera lady, and it's ready to eat too. So let's go ahead and go get some food. Y'all have a good one. Take care.